Okay, I'd like to call the Plan Commission meeting to order for Tuesday, July 6th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kudowski.
Here.
Jim Allen.
Present.
Jay Krieger.
Here.
Gary Paul.
Here.
Mike Skippington.
Here.
And Campbell and Baki are excused.
Okay, please stand for the pledge.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform. Okay, I have no changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve, please.
Move as presented. I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Action on the minutes from the Plan Commission regular meeting, June 1, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda, must state name and address, limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel items cannot be discussed, nor individuals named. Board is not able to take action at this meeting. We do not have any public, so we will move on to number 7, action items. 7A, action on a request for a third wall sign for Gerber Collision located at 825 Mike McCarthy Way, parcel VA-467. Aaron.
Okay, the requested third wall sign is for Gerber Collision, the former Williams Auto Body on Mike McCarthy Way. As indicated on the screen, you see here the third wall sign will be located on the south elevation. It will be non-illuminated, so there'll be no lighting on it. It does fall within the 20% of the face area for all village regulations. The area itself is primarily commercial, industrial, transitioning more commercial areas. Staff does not see any issues with this proposed third wall sign. Site Plan Review Committee did recommend approval at their meeting. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I have an easy one. Is this the Williams property that's been sold? Okay.
It's a, I don't know if it's been sold at all, but it's a different business in there.
Okay.
Aaron said it had been through the site plan committee. We didn't see any problems with it, so I'll move to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as presented the third wall sign at 825 Mike McCarthy Way. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 7B, action regarding requested site plan review for Nielsen Communications, 645 Mike McCarthy Way, parcel VA-56-5. Aaron.
The request is for a 3,000 square foot addition to the Nielsen Communications building located on Mike McCarthy Way, right between U.S. Special Delivery and the former Badger Ladder property. So it's on the south side of Mike McCarthy Way. They're proposing a 3,000 square foot addition out the south, primarily for a garage area for his vehicles, some storage. As you can see on the site plan, right here is the addition, and then there's also an addition of some asphalt areas here to the building itself. In terms of the exterior materials, they will be metal wall panels. Although the elevations do not depict a 3-foot masonry wainscot, that is a recommended condition of approval, which Site Plan Review Committee also had, since that is a requirement of our ordinance. All metal wall fasteners are to be concealed as well, consistent with our ordinance. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Aaron, a question I forgot to ask at the site plan committee. That's the metal fasteners, excuse me, the exterior finish matches the original.
Correct.
It is the same.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We had no problem at site plan this afternoon on that one. Nice clean addition.
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve with the staff conditions.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as presented with staff conditions. Any more questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I was just waiting for you. Okay, thank you. 7C, action regarding a requested right-of-way certified survey map for parcel VA-L331-5 on West Main Avenue. Aaron?
Okay, I'll just kind of summarize these three items here. They're all certified survey maps to acquire the necessary right-of-way for an extension of the West Main Avenue Trail. As you see on the air photo, currently the trail stops at Sand Acres. It does continue west to Cornerstone. The proposal is to extend the trail along West Main Avenue, as you see in the highlighted yellow areas here, all the way to South Ridge Road. The long-term plan is to continue to extend that eventually to reach the city of De Pere and provide a continuous transportation link for bikes and pedestrians along West Main Avenue. To accommodate the trail and to keep it in the right-of-way, we did need to acquire some right-of-way. The certified survey map for each one of these three properties is what's necessary to accommodate the asphalt trail. The recommended conditions of every of the three CSMs is approval by the Brown County Planning Commission. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
In our discussions earlier, you mentioned the fact that it's going to continue on to Highway 41.
Correct.
Then you encounter what the DMV or DOT calls roundabouts,
Correct.
which is, are you ending up with a trail to nowhere?
No, the trail, actually at the roundabout and the intersections, there are sidewalk segments in there already. So this would connect up to that roundabout area and those sidewalk segments.
Okay,
So you're saying it's going to end at Sand Acres?
Right now, it's
For now.
proposed at South Ridge is where it ends, where it's
Oh,
proposed
yeah.
to end currently.
It starts at Sand Acres, goes to South Ridge.
Actually, it starts at Cornerstone. So out Packerland, all the way to Sand Acres is where it currently runs.
Okay.
And the yellow area is highlighted to extend it to South Ridge.
Yeah, I see.
What is the extension that goes to Grant Street? Is that something that was done by De Pere before? Or
The one runs along Sand Acres?
There's a paved path along Sand Acres all the way to Grant Street.
Correct. That was done by the village.
Oh,
Aaron, as I'm looking at this map here, crossing Sand Acres, going to the west, that thin gray-black line on the south side of the street, is that the trail that I'm looking at then?
So the yellow line is the rough right-of-way acquisition.
Right.
It'll be a 12-foot asphalt trail.
Okay, but then as I go across Sand Acres, you see the gray, and then there's a darker gray, and then the road itself, is that the present walkway there?
Yes, yep, that's right.
Oh, okay, understanding now. I guess the only question I'm going to ask here, is there any signage, road markings that there is a trail there as the people are crossing? It'll be brought up at another meeting if we don't ask it now.
So there will be stop signs at the intersection with the roads. And we did receive a request from Monroe Truck Equipment as part of the negotiations to obtain the right-of-way. They did ask to have stop signs placed at their driveway because of the truck traffic.
Okay, so in other words, that you could almost, well, you can't say almost, all driveways will have one of these if there is additional driveways put in at another time.
They typically don't have stop signs.
Oh, is that right?
Right. So like the Packerland Trail, for instance, you don't have stop signs every driveway. You'd be stopping every couple hundred feet.
Okay, as long as we understand.
The only driveway is that truck equipment.
Right, and that was a special request of theirs as part of the negotiation.
not truck equipment, but road truck,
Right.
right? Am I? Yeah.
That's correct, yep,
Right.
MTE.
Okay,
So the request will actually, if you so decide to recommend approval, it'll be 3 separate actions, one for each of the staff reports. So for VA-L331-5 and then so on.
Right.
so we take one at a time, Aaron?
Correct.
We're dealing with 7C right now.
Okay, I'll move to approve the right-of-way for CMS of parcel VAL-L331-5 with staff conditions.
Okay, is there a second?
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to recommend approval of the certified survey map for parcel VA-L331-5 on West Main Avenue. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, 7D is basically the same thing, except it is for parcel VA-867. Any questions on that one?
Move to approve as proposed with staff conditions.
I'll second that one also.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to recommend approval of the certified survey map for parcel VA-867 on West Main Avenue. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Here's the third one. 7E, action regarding a requested right-of-way certified survey map for parcel VA-868 on West Main Avenue. Same thing? Anybody want to make a motion?
Move to approve as presented with staff conditions.
And second it.
Okay, a motion and a second to recommend approval of the certified survey map for parcel VA-868 on West Main Avenue. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, 7F, action regarding a floodway zoning map amendment request for floodway at Alden Station. Aaron?
Okay, similar to the last 3 actions, we have 2 very related actions here in terms of revisions to the floodway and flood fringe for Alden Station. I'll deal with the floodway amendment first. So in terms of floodplain management, floodplain taken as a whole typically has 2 components. You have the floodway, which is where water will typically be moving during a 100-year flood event. You know, the flood fringe, where water will store or pool during a 100-year flood event, which typically extends outside of the floodway. So the initial revision for the floodway actually is along Ashwaubenon Creek, and you see up on the map here the new floodway boundary. The original maps that FEMA prepared in the early 2000s had the floodway extending out pretty far north from this area. And knowing the topography of the area, we thought, you know what, that's just not accurate. Again, they did their mapping based on the best information they had, which was probably the 2-foot contours from Brown County from the 2000 flight. Since that time, of course, we've gotten better information. So McMahon and Associates went out there, surveyed the floodway, determined the actual elevations, and submitted the necessary information to FEMA to amend the floodway for this property. Because it is a revision to the property, it's called a letter of map revision or a LOMAR for FEMA terminology. So there's no fill or anything. This was just a revision based upon newer, better information to amend the floodway. The reason the village is involved at this point is because we do have our own floodplain zoning ordinance, which goes hand in hand with FEMA, the FEMA maps, and the DNR. All of them have separate regulatory actions with the floodplain and flood fringe. As part of the process, the village has to amend our zoning map to reflect, our floodplain zoning map to reflect any changes in the floodway or flood fringe. So this proposed LOMAR, letter of map revision, is to reflect the newer, better information and the revised floodway as approved by FEMA.
Okay.
So in Plain English, FEMA overrules the Village of Ashwaubenon's plan.
No, actually, in this case, we provided better information to FEMA.
Oh, we do, oh, okay.
Right,
Okay, so we provide the better information.
right,
Right,
Which we give to them then.
correct.
yes.
Okay, okay, now I understand. Okay, you're not going to fight FEMA. Move to approve as presented. Any staff conditions that we got to go along with here? I'm not,
No staff conditions,
All
but
right.
this is a recommendation to the
Just-
village board.
the recommendations, okay. Then I will recommend approval of revised flood fringe zoning map amendment for Alden Station to the village board.
We'll second that.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second to amend the request for floodway at Alden Station. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, 7G, action regarding a floodplain zoning map amendment request for flood fringe, Lomar F at Alden Station. Aaron, you're a popular guy tonight.
Been steady. I guess with the rain, it's probably appropriate, we're talking floodplain. So similar to the floodway amendment, this is actually a flood fringe amendment. In this case, it's considered a letter of map revision for fill, or a Lomar F. As you can see on the map, there was this initial boundary right here, which is all considered flood fringe and therefore floodplain. So these areas, in order to be built on, had to be raised at least 2 feet above the base flood elevation. And your lowest opening on those homes then could be no less than 2 feet above the base flood elevation. So there was a lot of fill was brought into this property to raise those properties out of the floodplain or flood fringe, and reestablish the flood fringe line. As you see here, this dark line on the map is the new flood fringe boundary. So it is now buildable within these areas, again, 2 feet above that base flood elevation. Because we provided all the fill and better information to FEMA, FEMA amended the floodplain maps based upon, again, the fill. So they issued a Lomar F, letter of map revision based on fill. We now have to amend our floodplain zoning maps to reflect that change in flood elevation.
Okay, any more discussion on this?
Yeah, there's this intermittent line that kind of dissects the entire property. What does that line represent?
That was the former flood fringe. So that was the previous 100-year floodplain boundary.
Okay, Aaron, that has brought up to level,
Right, so
that's buildable now.
correct, that line no longer exists.
Okay,
It's shown on there for reference.
Yeah.
okay, all right. And I am assuming, looking at this map here, outlot 3 is where the trail is going to go?
Outlot 5.
Or 5, is that a 5?
Yep, that's a 5.
Oh, yeah, now I see. Okay. We're good to roll there.
Any more questions? Discussion? Does everybody understand what we did? We brought in a lot of fill, raised it up.
Initially, we took a lot of dirt out,
Exactly, yes. We took a lot out because we wanted that site to be,
right?
Was that
Be
done,
buildable.
was the fill came from the road infrastructure? Is that where the fill came from?
I believe the fill came from one of the quarries in Glenmore.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
brought in?
Yep.
Oh, it wasn't
Yeah.
brought from the site?
No, we had,
Not usable stuff from the site?
right, we had to make sure that it was clean fill and met certain
Right.
engineering standards for compaction so that the area that will still flood, or potentially flood this area here, won't undercut and wash away that fill that was brought in.
Okay, okay. Okay, go ahead.
So you need a recommend, where is that? Where are we now? Yeah, right here. Make a motion, we recommend approval of the revised flood fringe zoning map amendment for Alden Station to the village board.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to recommend approval of the revised flood fringe Lomar F zoning map amendment for Alden Station to Village Board. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 8, items for next agenda. Will we have a next agenda, Aaron? Probably.
I would anticipate it. Yeah, there's been a few things on the docket lately.
Yeah, we've been kind of busy. Okay, so then I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, the motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody.